a situation where we're looking very strongly at sinks and showers and other elements of bathrooms.
This is true. I look very strongly at all elements of bathrooms for hours every day, all of them. Sinks, showers, everything but the scale.
Or if I was like running in third, fourth, fifth place or something, I wouldn't be indicted. They're not going to indict me. They go after the one in first place. You know, they're not stupid. They go after the first. And a lot of people say, they ask me two questions. First they say, sir, how do you do it? How do you wake up in the morning and put on your pants? And I say, well, I don't think about it too much. I don't want to think about it, because if I think about it too much, maybe I won't want to do it.
So let me see if I have this right. People come up to you, Donald Trump, the former president and current four-time criminal defendant, and their number one burning question for you is, how do you put on your pants? And
I want to talk about so what. In the White House, Donald Trump is told that Mike Pence has had to be moved to a secure location, and Donald Trump says, so what?
You said this not to a therapist, but rather a large audience at a campaign rally. And when they heard it, they were cool with it and didn't slowly and awkwardly make their way to the exits while muttering, he can't be president.
Do you really think that any of these Republicans give a damn about that? You know what they're going to say? So what?
Okay with how dumb he makes them sound. People come up to me and they say, sir? It's very hard to talk to you people. You're not...
Everybody knows that Donald Trump wears diapers. I mean, my God, look at him. This dude's wearing a diaper every single day. So what?
I can tell you about the elevators on a tremendous aircraft carrier, the Gerald Ford, and they decided not to use hydraulic like a John Deere tractor. They decided to use magnets. We're going to use magnets to lift up the elevators with 7 planes on them. We need them fast, these massive elevators. They used magnets. They wanted to try it for the first time. They had an almost $1 billion cost overrun on the magnetic elevators. Think of it, magnets. Now, all I know about magnets is this. Give me a glass of water. Let me drop it on the magnets. That's the end of the magnets.
Even his crazy nonsense bull is more wrong than it has to be. If you drop a glass of water on a magnet, you have a wet, working magnet in a pile of broken glass. You're like Mr. Wizard with a massive head injury.
Your post, the odor, the stench, the stink. How bad is it? What do you know about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not good. I mean, think about the best way to describe it. I've tried to take armpits, ketchup, like a butt, and kind of put it in a blender, and makeup, and put that all in a blender, and and you bottle that as a cologne. That's kind of that.
Wow, now we know why Mulaney is always making that face.
Turns out Donald Trump smells like shit. Motherfucker stinks all the time, partially because he shits in his diapers. So what?
Another big week in court for Donald Trump. Monday is the deadline for pretrial motions challenging his charges in Georgia. Tuesday, he plans to be in D.C. when the Circuit Court of Appeals hears his claims of immunity on January 6th related charges. Then 2 days later, closing arguments will begin in his New York civil fraud trial. And then he might be in New York on January 16th for the E. Jean Carroll defamation trial.
The stakes couldn't be higher or more time sensitive. The D.C. election interference case's original trial date of March 4th remains in limbo. And that trial date affects Trump's Mar-a-Lago trial date, which affects his Manhattan DA's criminal case trial date, and so on and so on.
It's not good when a list of your ongoing court cases ends with and so on and so on.
You ever wonder why his wife is never with him? She won't even have lunch with him. She doesn't want to be near him. So what?
Today, we're here to answer the most important of questions. Is democracy still America's sacred cause? I mean it. Trump is now promising a full-scale campaign of revenge and retribution, his words, for some years to come. They were his words, not mine. He went on to say he'd be a dictator on day one.
So the shit what?
I mean, if I were writing a book of fiction, I said an American president said that. And not in jest. He's threatened the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff with the death penalty. Says he should be put to death because the chairman put his oath to the Constitution ahead of his personal loyalty to Trump. This is coming from a president who called, when he visited cemeteries, called dead soldiers suckers and losers. Remember that? Sometimes I'm really happy the Irish in me can't be seen.
Biden's the only president who refers to his ethnicity like it's a Hulk who has to be restrained at all times. You wouldn't like me when I'm Irish.
You think it's bizarre that Donald Trump has to flush the toilet 10 times? What the hell's coming out of his ass? 9, 10 times. That's weird. So the fuck what?
Crooked Joe is staging his pathetic fear-mongering campaign event in Pennsylvania today. Did you see him? He was stuttering through the whole thing. He's going to, he's a threat to democracy. They've weaponized government. He's saying, I'm a threat to democracy. He's a threat to democracy. Wow. Okay. Couldn't read the word.
Great. So our choice this November is between a guy who's 81 years old and another guy who's in 3rd grade.
We're going to put up another poll here for shits and giggles. Not my idea. It was actually James Carville. But who out there thinks they know what was the last year? You know, the very last year that Donald Trump could see his own dick. You got 4 options. Do you think it's even sooner than any of these?
Turn on the faucet, you don't get any water. They take a shower and water comes dripping out. Just dripping out, very quietly dripping out.
The last time Donald Trump could see his own dick? So the fuck what?
Comes very quietly dripping out, and then the silence. And in the silence, you can hear the thoughts.
And sure, it's easy for Trump not to stumble when he's talking about important stuff like pants and magnets. Oh, I just had a thought. What if Trump puts his pants on with magnets? Every morning I wake up, slip a couple of magnets into my tighty whities.
So Donald Trump raped a chick. So what? Donald Trump cheated on his fucking taxes. So what? Donald Trump shoots a massive wad out of his ass that's so enormous, mostly made of McDonald's fast food items, I would imagine, that it takes 8, 9, sometimes 10 times to flush it all down. So what?
And then my heavily magnetized pants shoot out of the closet, and they come right onto my legs. It's a wonderful system.
Is that why he has all this time at 1 o'clock in the morning for relentless tweeting or truthing or whatever the fuck he thinks it is? So the fuck what? Doesn't matter.
The only downside, I can't go outside if it's raining because, as you all know, as it's well been established by science, if magnets get even a little bit wet, boom, pants around my ankles.
So Donald Trump says that he weighs 230 pounds. I'm not trying to necessarily compare that to something that weighs 230 pounds. I'm just saying that Trump says he weighs 230 pounds. So what? Does he actually look like Jabba the Hutt? Or some kind of a parrot version of it? So what?
10,000 known or suspected gang members. Every single car out there, even the really expensive ones, until it stops its dangerous provocation, controlled by large donors, unelected regulators and regulators. The corridors of power, they're our corridors. They're not their corridors. These are our corridors. Another historic step toward future development and future with a future, a real future. And I have to say, that's a real future. Our hope is a word and world. Authority and authoritarian powers. Beating expectations in the House for the midterm and midterm year. Developing an internet, this is so totally important, an intercontinental ballistic missile. They sacrifice every day for the furniture and future of their children.
So the hell what?
They do. They do. They sacrifice for the furniture and the future of the children. And furniture is very important for children. That's where they sit in the morning and put on their pants.
Is Donald Trump made of tangerine? So what?
In every election since and including 2020, when the Maga threat to democracy has been at the center of the conversation, Maga has lost. And that's because no matter how many inscrutable rants or conspiracy theories they spin, they can't change the basic fact that most Americans like democracy and want to keep it.
So what?
And that's once again what's at stake in this election. We have to reaffirm those stakes every day from now until November, almost as if it were part of our daily routine, the same way you brush your teeth, drink your coffee, or you
wake up in the morning and put on your pants.
Donald Trump's dick is shaped like a tiny mushroom. So what?
I love studying the, if you take a look, the wars, I don't know what it is. The Civil War was so fascinating, so horrible. It was so horrible, but so fascinating. It was, I don't know, it was just different. I just find it, I'm so attracted to seeing it. So many mistakes were made. See, there was something I think could have been negotiated, to be honest with you. I think you could have negotiated that.
Yet nothing could have been easier about negotiating the Civil War. How about this? Monday, Wednesday, Friday, totally enslaved. Tuesday, Thursday, alternate weekends, totally free.
Donald Trump's hair looks like a fox has taken up residency and is currently asleep in the sun. So what?
Nikki Haley has been in the pocket of the open borders establishment donors her entire career, and she's a globalist, you know, she likes the globe.
She's a globalist, she likes the globe. Not me, I'm a misogynist because I love a good massage. That's what I do.
Donald Trump took $7.5 million just in 4 of his over 500 companies while he was president, mostly from China. So what?
If I deleted one email, like a love note to Melania, it's the electric chair for Trump. She deleted her emails. People go to jail for that. Nobody's ever heard of it. Don't bleach their emails or destroy evidence to keep it from being publicly archived as required under federal law.
On June 14th, 1946, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God gave us Trump. God said, I need somebody willing to get up before dawn, fix this country, work all day. So God made Trump.
Donald Trump has thousands of our top secret documents that not only talk about our response to a nuclear attack and some other country trying to take over America, but specifically, one of the documents that Donald Trump had shows how to make a nuclear bomb. Wait for it. Cheaply. So what?
Fine, God made Trump. But God also made that fish in the Amazon that swims up your pee hole and shoots out spikes so you can't get it out. So I'm just saying God's got a mixed record on making things.
Their emails, which put America's entire national security at risk. And to think she was here yesterday, I guess she didn't do very well.
Donald Trump let thousands of people die of COVID because he didn't want to hurt his own numbers. So he pretended like it wasn't actually happening. Hell, they still say that it was a Democratic virus. So what?
That Biden family and others, but that Biden family is corrupt. You should lock them up. Lock up the Bidens. Lock up Hillary. Lock them up.
By the way, Donald, have you thought about going swimming in the Amazon?
I thought it was a terrible thing when she ripped up the speech. First of all, it's an official document. You're not allowed. It's illegal what she did. She broke the law.
Donald Trump's own Justice Department sent Donald Trump's own lawyer to prison for paying off a porn star 16 days before the presidential election. And then lying about it on his taxes. And he did it in the orders of Trump. So what?
I need somebody with arms, strong enough to rustle the deep state, and yet gentle enough to deliver his own grandchild.
Bing, 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 boom. She.
But I can't emphasize enough the pile of shit that we must be talking about. I mean, I have one of those modern toilets, you know, the low flow things. Seems to work every time when I flush it. I go in there and, do my business and look at my phone and get done with my business. And, it all seems to go down in just one flush. And I mean, I've made some pretty good size things, but Donald Trump seems to be, enormous. I don't know exactly what he's shitting out, but does he take the wrapper off? I don't know.
People are flushing toilets 10 times, 15 times, as opposed to once. They end up using more water.
So what? That it's taking him 9, 10, however many times to flush down what must be a ginormous pile of shit that has come out of his ass. Like I say, mostly made of Big Macs and fries, I assume. Ketchup, I hear. I hear he likes ketchup. So what?
Ordered SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political rival. That's an official act in order to SEAL Team 6.
He would have to be and would speedily be, impeached and convicted before the criminal prosecution.
What if he weren't? There would be no criminal prosecution, no criminal liability for that.
Chief Justice's opinion in Marbury against Madison and our constitutional tradition and the plain language of the impeachment judgment clause all clearly presuppose that what the founders were concerned about was not.
I asked you a yes or no question.
So what?
Could a president who ordered SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political rival who was not impeached, would he be subject to criminal prosecution?
If he were impeached and convicted first. And
so your answer is
no. My answer is qualified yes. There is a political process that would have to occur under the structure of our Constitution, which would require impeachment and conviction by the Senate. And
Donald Trump threw his whole damn McDonald's meal one time at the wall in the mural room, hitting a nearly 200-year-old mural and smearing it with ketchup. So what?
And frankly, as I think Judge Pan's hypothetical described, I mean, what kind of world are we living in if, as I understood my friend on the other side to say here, a president orders his SEAL team to assassinate a political rival and resigns, for example, before an impeachment? Not a criminal act. President sells a pardon, resigns, or is not impeached? Not a crime. I think that is extraordinarily frightening future.
I hate to keep harping on this, but let's get back to the toilet thing. Let's bear in mind, he had a special golden toilet brought into the White House specifically because that cunt of a wife of his said she would never sit on a toilet that other woman had sat on. She's talking about Michelle, of course. So she lived in New York while they brought in a special golden toilet to install. So what?
People are flushing toilets 10 times, 15 times.
What, are they trying to get rid of a body? I don't understand. Who in the world needs to flush 15 times? Okay, yeah, that checks out.
A golden toilet that, I might add, was specially brought in by Donald Trump. And yet it still takes him 8, 9, 10 times to flush, once again, that enormous pile of Donald Trump shit. But so what?
That makes sense. That makes sense. Volume. How do we do it? Volume.
You go into a new building or a new house or a new home, and they have standards where you don't get water. You can't wash your hands practically. There's so little water comes out of the faucet. And the end result is you leave the faucet on, and it takes you much longer to wash your hands.
Takes you much longer. That's time you could be spending flushing the toilet 15 times.
Ask not what your country can do for you, what your toilet will do for your doo-doo.
So what? Mike Pence has been moved to a secure location. Hell, fuck that guy. Maybe he wish he hadn't been sent to the secure location. So the fuck what? People outside want to hang Mike Pence? Fuck him. So what? You think any of this matters to any of these people? It doesn't. So what?
Toilets clogged again. Call the EPA. Have them declare my commode a Superfund site. And you better get FEMA in here, too, because this bathroom is a disaster.
The reality is, we don't have to beat those people. There's a solid 40% of the Republican Party, maybe 60, that are gone down that rabbit hole. And so the fuck what? Yes, they're going to cause problems and probably some violence. So the fuck what? We will still beat them. And anybody who wants to pull that kind of shit can go to prison for the rest of their fucking lives. So what?
Flush it once. Shame on you. I flushed, but can't flush again.
So after confirming that he takes huge dumps and doesn't wash his hands,
Joe Biden's gonna win. So what? That's how it is. So what? You people can live in your fucking fantasy world all you want. So what? Donald Trump's ass produces massive piles of shit. Isn't that bizarre? Is it orange? I don't know either. Asking for a friend. So what?
Looking at very seriously at opening up the standard, and there may be some areas where we'll go the other route, desert areas, but for the most part, you have many states where they have so much water that it comes down. It's called rain.
Is anybody gonna watch this fucking video? Hell no, they're not. Why would they? So what? I'm Zachariah, Lone Star Liberal. Y'all take it easy.
Yes, it's called rain. That's what happened when God cries. And when there's thunder, that's God flushing the toilet 15 times.
That the people who stormed the Capitol should be held responsible to the full extent of the law.
I have concerns about the treatment of January 6 hostages.
Can I speak to Pelosi? Yeah, we're coming, bitch! Oh, my bitch! We're coming for you too, fucking traitor! We can take that place! An example needs to be made! Start making a list! Put all those names down! And we start hunting them down one by one!
They've got the gallows set outside this Capitol building. It's time to start fucking using them.
Mr. Gorbachev, stay out of that stall.